Howdy, it's Cloudy. Welcome back to the channel. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't checked out my last video, make sure you're gonna do that. And if y'all don't know, this channel is starting to become more Marvel oriented. Yes, I'm gonna be doing other reactions, but you mainly gonna see some Marvel stuff from here. You know what I'm saying? So if you enjoy that, leave a like. If you enjoy other stuff, I do got playlists on my channel. You know what I'm saying? For certain things I react to. Let me know what playlist y'all also want to be in there, because the whole movie trailer playlist, that's definitely gonna be a main playlist of this channel. You know what I'm saying? I gotta start like cutting it down for y'all. You know what I'm saying? So y'all let me know what like other two y'all want. I want to at least have like 3 genres or 2 genres I can react to on this channel for y'all. You know what I'm saying? But today we got a video from Everything Always. Breaking: Sony officially in Spider-Verse. No more spin-offs and no more movies or nothing, bro. What does this mean? I'm not gonna lie,
What's going on, guys? Welcome to
it's a little
Everything
refreshing
Always.
here.
My name's Michael.
My boy
Groningen,
Spider-Man
aka
ain't locked up no more.
Holy
You know what I'm
smokes!
saying?
In yesterday's video, when I said that
What does this
Sony was
mean,
going to
though?
have to learn there were
What are they gonna
consequences
do?
for putting out movies like Madam Web and Morbius.
Before we even, you know, what does this mean? If Sony is ending they little thing with the Spider-Verse, does that mean they get to make like their own line of Spider-Man movies, or does that mean they have to give up full rights to Marvel? You know what I'm saying? Or does this mean Marvel can use the characters now, the like the Venom and Craven? Could Marvel use them now that they ended their Spider-Verse? I hope so, bro.
I did not think that less than 24
Venom
hours
they need
later,
to be
Sony would be
in
announced to be
the Marvel
ending
movie, bro.
their Spider-Verse
But I
outside of
think
the
that
MCU.
might
That's right,
mean
you heard it
that's
correctly,
what it
and the
means,
news
though,
is
you know what I'm
flying
saying?
all over the place. Sony is officially
I
not
really
developing
hope.
any more Spider-Verse spin-offs for live-action movies. The last one will be Craven. After it comes out, there is nothing else in development, and we have to talk about what that means for the future of Spider-Man and that IP.
Let's talk
because
about
we
it.
might already know based on industry
Kinda
insider
excited when I heard
reports
this
from a
news
month
on
ago. We're
Instagram. I
breaking
was
down
real
this
excited,
latest
I ain't
news,
gonna lie.
where it came from, what was exactly said about what Sony's doing, and what that means for the future of all of the Spider-Man IP. But first, if you could quickly grab the subscribe button, guys. My analytics indicate there are a lot of you who have been watching daily videos and maybe haven't subscribed yet, which is totally cool, no problem at all. But I would just kindly invite you to do so, because hey, if you're watching the videos daily, you got to be subbed to enter the PS5 giveaway, and you might as well be. Okay, so this news actually broke this afternoon in an article from The Wrap under the headline, "As Craven hunts for audience, Sony's Marvel Universe takes a final bow for now."
Hey, this
Quote,
coming out
"It's
tomorrow.
really
Y'all
about the
ready?
next Spider-Man film," a top talent agency tells The Wrap. As re-reported by avclub.com, they go on to say, quote, "Craven the Hunter is looking pretty dire at the box office for projections at the moment, capping off what might be the final disappointment for Sony's attempt at building an independent Marvel Cinematic Universe."
Bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I feel like Craven just based off the trailer. You know what I'm saying? Because I only watched the trailer. You feel me? I feel like Craven might be one of the best ones. I feel like they really did us dirty with Morbius and Madam Web. Though Madam Web was probably the worst movie I've ever seen. They should have just made it a TV show at that point. You know what I'm saying? And Morbius, it needed more time in the movie. This movie, Morbius, should have been at least 2 hours long. Only because the way the story was laid out made it seem like he still had more left in the tank. Like he was either going to go study the rest of his powers or find other people that may have dealt with it. You know what I'm saying? But the people there didn't care, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, Sony, y'all need somebody over there that'll really, put time and effort into.
Never managed to get its Spider-Verse off the ground, even with one successful spin-off series in Venom, and saw diminishing returns at the box office with each subsequent release.
I liked Venom. I watched
Venom.
Venom
Report examining Sony's many flops, Morbius, Madam Web, and
really
now
good.
probably Craven, and there's
it.
a good reason to believe that the studio is going to drop its Marvel dreams outside of Spider-Man. They continue by saying, quote, "There are a few sources willing to anonymously testify as much, including a top talent agent who says this, quote, they've developed what they want to develop for now. It's really about the next Spider-Man film." A Sony insider seems to agree that the studio
so they still making the next film for Spider-Man
of B-tier Spider-Man villains into main characters, and will instead focus on Tom Holland's next Spider-Man and the next Spider-Verse animated film and the Spider-Man Noir television series featuring Nick Cage. All of those projects notably...
Okay, you heard what he said. So I don't like this, only because I feel like Andrew Garfield ain't really getting the love he deserves, you know what I'm saying? But unless Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is going to be for Marvel, you know what I'm saying? Because I think Tom Holland's Spider-Man is still signed to Sony, but I think they're just like, we're done making movies that, like, help Spider-Man. You know, we'll let Marvel handle that part. We'll just finish this last Spider-Man movie that we had planned already, you know, since it's part of his contract or whatever. That's what I'm thinking, you know. And if that's the case, does that mean the so what happens with the villains that Sony have? Are they giving those rights to Marvel now? Like, are they gonna let Marvel use their villains, bro? Because I feel like they should, if they're not gonna do nothing else with it. Give Venom, Craven, and Madam Web to Marvel. Let them do something real good with it, you know, or give it to DC, even though they're not part of DC. Give it to James Gunn. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter, you know. Just I don't feel like they should just drop the ball with these stories, you know.
Feature actual
But where's
Spider-Man,
Andrew
as
Garfield in
opposed
this,
to the
man?
movies
He
that danced
deserves
around the
another
idea of
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man
bro.
but never actually introduced one. The article then goes on to point out that even having a Spidey hero doesn't necessarily mean success, because
Why
Sony
not
Spider
make a
Society
movie
was
just
scrapped at
all
Amazon
three
Prime before
Spider-Mans
it
in
even
it?
got off the mat. They continue by
And it's
saying
mainly
this, but it's
just
not
them.
just the
And
fault
they fight
of
against
B-tier
Noel.
or C
That would
tier
be
or even
hard.
D tier
What?
characters involved that Sony Marvel's universe failed. Famously, Marvel was able to take lesser known characters, say like Guardians of the Galaxy, and turn them into major moneymakers, which again may be a testament to James Gunn, and Marvel has proven that that's not easily replicable, but that's a topic for a different video. Instead, the rap piece argues that it's the quote-unquote poorly executed films themselves that are the issue. Take it from another Sony insider who
Like the
sums it
writers
up
not
in one
doing good or
devastating
something?
quote. The biggest issue with the Sony Spider-Man spin-offs seems to be the lack of quality control. The movies just aren't good. Sometimes that lack of quality meets a movie no one asked for, which is the case with Madam Web, and that is a
Madam
no-win
Web was
scenario.
horrible,
That
bro.
actor then
I
goes
don't
on to
care.
say Sony should start cultivating new IP, but that's kind of a joke in the face of Spider-Man, which may be Marvel's most popular IP, if not their most popular character, one of them, and some of the most popular IP in the entire world. So let's talk about what's absolutely not going to happen, and then what might happen. Number one, what's not going to happen for any of you who are hoping and praying that this is the death knell for Sony with the Spider-Man rights, you can rest assured they will do everything in their power, spend any amount of money to keep the rights for Spider-Man. They will.
Okay, now we know. You know, they gonna do whatever they can to keep Spider-Man, which I can't blame them. That's their moneymaker. You know what I'm saying? If they give it to Marvel, Marvel finna go crazy. You know what I'm saying? But is it just Tom Holland Spider-Man, or do they own rights to all three of the Spider-Man? Because every single time Spider-Man get brought up, it's never Andrew Garfield. And I know I'm not trying to be biased, you know what I'm saying? Because he's my favorite Spider-Man, not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? But why does he keep getting put to the back burners, bro? He should have another Spider-Man film. And I know y'all probably saw the little interview between him and Ryan Reynolds. There might be a Deadpool and Spider-Man movie in the works. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Ryan Reynolds might have the power and the money to pull some strings, you know? So hopefully that might happen. But it's the fact that Sony just keep leaving bro out, bro. Like, what did he do to y'all,
Sell
man?
those back to Marvel. That will not happen unless it absolutely has to. And as long as they keep putting out Spider-Man movies
What does
and
that
on
mean,
time,
unless it
they're
has
going to
to?
keep the rights. It's like Jordan and Nike. Spider-Man is one of the most popular and one of the most lucrative IPs in the entire world. And on top of that, he's a flagship across their entire entertainment division. Even outside
Right.
of film, look at PS5, the marquee that the Spider-Man game is. They just make way too much money off of the
Yeah, I ain't gonna
Spider-Man
lie.
rights.
Spider-Man
to let them go.
just
So anybody
Spider-Man
hoping
been
and
doing this
praying that
thing
that's about
for
to
a minute,
happen,
you know?
I would not hold your breath. Also, keep in mind, I say this in quite a few videos because people aren't as aware of the numbers. Sony is a much smaller studio, a much smaller
Then
production
Marvel,
house
yup.
than a lot of the other studios they're going up against. And this year's
Oh,
top
not
10
Marvel.
movies were all sequels for the first time in history. Which means this is a world of what IP do you own and how much money can you make off of it. And in
And I'm not gonna lie, bro. Next year is gonna be crazy for Marvel, Sony, and the only reason I say Sony, even if they not really making none of the movies in that in the Marvel phase thing, you know what I'm saying? I still feel like they finna make a lot of bread, bro. Marvel's finna come out with so many titles next year, it don't even make sense. And I do feel like maybe everything's getting pushed until next year because you know the whole presidential thing. So that people trying to see how they gotta do their business with these new laws and bills and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So they should make a movie where it's Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, and Andrew Garfield fighting a super strong, formidable opponent, bro. That only Spider-Man, because they all live in New York. Bro, how they all go? Bro, I get that they in different multiverses and stuff, but bro, they all live in New York. At some point in time when that multiverse thing happened, y'all could just be like, they end up stuck in the same timeline. So now it's three Spider-Mans here. And they end up fighting something crazy. Like, possibly no. because Noel is possibly about to get free. You know what I'm saying? So they could be fighting him. Yeah, they might lose, but the whole point is when they fight him now, another character can make a cameo in that Spider-Man movie, bro, and they ain't even got to stay in there for too long to help. You know what I'm saying? Just help put him back in the cage or something like that. But you can't forget there is still part of that venom left on that cockroach or whatever we saw. If y'all watch the movies to the end of the thing, to where y'all see the ending credits and stuff like that, those type of scenes, then y'all really know, like, yeah, there's something else going on after the Venom Last Dance. Because that is not the last movie, bro. The way they ended that movie with the credit scene, bro, that is not the last dance, bro. He got a couple more dances left. You know what
Sony's only stable
it's the
horse
last dance,
is Spider-Man. Outside of Spider-Man, they've got others like Ghostbusters, but it just doesn't hold a candle
Kraven the
to
Hunter
who and
coming
what
out tomorrow.
Spider-Man is.
It's
So
not a promo, I promise.
what I'm trying to say in not so many words is if Sony were to lose Spider-Man, their whole studio actually might
Probably
be
fall
at risk
apart,
of
yeah.
just completely folding, because Spider-Man is the only thing they've got over there at their movie
That's
studio
Marvel, I
that's
think,
making
right?
any kind of real money. Now that said,
That's
a month ago
doing
we
good
heard a
with
rumor
Marvel.
that Sony would actually look to integrate what they have as the Spider-Verse's Rogues Gallery without a Spider-Man into the main MCU continuity. And in the same way that they're working on Spider-Man movies as a co-production and in the MCU, that's how they would develop any subsequent films that had to do with their villains. So basically everyone would be in the same continuity, and Sony wouldn't be stuck with the Spider-Man-less Spider-Verse that doesn't make any sense and doesn't connect to anything.
Oh, okay. So it sounds so from what he said, if I understand correct me if I'm wrong. He's basically saying Sony pretty much understood that they wasn't really them. If y'all seen my past videos on this situation, I was saying Sony should just let Marvel use their characters because they gonna break bread with them anyway. They y'all characters, bro. Y'all getting money. You know what I'm saying? They must have been scared they was gonna get finessed or something. You know what I'm saying?
Ultimately,
Because they was gonna
Sony's
make
dreams
money
of a
no matter what.
Spider-Geddon
If
are
the characters
obviously
was used
dead in the
Marvel.
water. There's nowhere near
They
the
just-
type of
I think
hyper
they
interest
just
to get to
being
that
greedy
kind
or
of
something.
film, but it doesn't mean that their other main goal of doing a Sinister Six and a Venom crossover doesn't now and can't now take place if they merge both continuities right after Avengers Secret Wars with what we all assume will be a soft reboot of the MCU landscape, introducing recasts of characters perhaps like Iron Man or Steve Rogers, but for sure characters
Are we gonna
like
see like
T'Challa,
new villains
introducing a brand new
in
X-Men team,
Kraven
one
that might
cohesive
stay alive?
multiverse going forward, and in that would be the time for them to introduce a Norman Osborn, maybe a new Vulture, maybe some other characters, all of a sudden have a Sinister Six. I don't think it also precludes maybe some of these characters returning. Who knows? Kraven might be a great movie. We
Morbius
won't
should
know because a
return.
lot of people won't see it because of how bad Morbius and Madame Web was. That's Sony basically
Morbius
having
wasn't
to
that
pay the
bad.
bill. People will watch it when it comes out
They
on
just need
streaming,
to
and if there
finish
is some
it.
sort of cult revival, if the film ends up doing well, Aaron Taylor Johnson could end up playing Kraven in the future of the MCU. A lot of these characters could, but that would be a very different kind of thing. And as this Sony industry insider says,
Bro, maybe
it's
this
all
next
about
Spider-Man, since they've been talking about bringing in what's his name? Ah, nah, they can't because they gotta stay on story. Bro, the way they played like the storyline for Miles Morales, bro, May was still alive. You know what I'm saying? So if they want to bring in Miles Morales and they trying to stay with the storyline, and that's the storyline they showed us first through the game, then Miles Morales can't be in the same universe as Tom Holland. You know what I'm saying? He would have to be with Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire or something, right? Because May will still be alive meeting Miles Morales or something. You know what I'm saying? Right? Am I tripping? I might be tripping. She may have passed away in the game before, you know what I'm saying? But if he by himself, they might as well go ahead and meet him up with Miles Morales if it's possible. Might as well, bro.
quality
He already
control.
on that road by
Those
himself.
movies are super bad. They're
Team him up
super
with Miles
bad. Madame
Morales,
Web
bro.
is terrible. Morbius is not a good movie. I've tried to watch it more than once. It's just not good.
I like
and
Morbius.
since
It's
no one was
good to
really
me, bro. I
calling
like
for
it.
a Morbius or Madame Web movie in the first place, like that guy said, it's just no win. There's no interest there, and the movies are bad. You put some of these
I like
characters in
Morbius,
the
though. Morbius
MCU
is
then, though, and connect them
I
to the greater
wish it was more.
storyline. And then, well, then they start to actually have stakes. Then the scenes inside those movies, they start to mean something in the context of the MCU. And is it Sony basically grifting off of Marvel's coattails, asking for them to solve all of their Sony problems? Yeah,
much.
basically. And if they continue to put out shitty films, Marvel has shown that
They
even
might
Marvel
as well,
Studios can drop
yeah.
the occasional stinker. And if they keep doing that, even after they've merged with the MCU, that's not going to help them either. The only thing that helps them in from here is putting out quality films. That's it. And then not greenlighting characters that don't make sense without a Spider-Man opposing them. Like, who's really interested in Kraven the Hunter if he's not hunting Spider-Man?
Yeah,
he could be anybody. You could rename Aaron Taylor
well,
Johnson's
Kraven,
character
the first movie
anything.
could be
This might
his
as well
story.
not even be a Spider-Man.
And then the next Spider-Man 4, maybe Kraven the Hunter can come in. Maybe this is when Kraven the Hunter come in and the Venom thing happened, just like in the video game. But Miles Morales was a part of that, or Harry was a part of that. You know what I'm saying? So they do have to. I'm thinking if they do, do that, they will be bringing in another ally for Tom. You know what I'm saying? Or Tom or any other Spider-Man, depending on who they. If y'all played the Spider-Man video games, that's kind of the story they like pushing in this sense. You know what I'm saying? Like they could low key pull the story from the video game as of right now, especially with the way Kraven the Hunter is coming out now and Spider-Man 4 ain't out yet. Now the next time Kraven the Hunter shows up, he could show up hunting down this Spider-Man because he by himself, and then he runs into the Venom and video game. I'm telling you,
story. And I think
just
that's where Sony really got it wrong. It's one thing for Marvel Studios to try to do lesser known franchises like Eternal.
Y'all got a whole video game.
James Gunn's writing is what really galvanized the Guardians of the Galaxy as top tier popular IP. It wasn't just about the fact that you can take anything and throw it at fans and they're going to love it. Especially if the writing's bad. See Madam Web. But you also had Sydney Sweeney in a Spider-Woman costume and still couldn't get people to come see your film, which is an absolute tragedy at best. I'm not exactly sure what
everybody knows.
Sony
she was there for the
because it's a lot easier to make a crappy film than it is to make a good one. And some of Marvel's magic has proven to be maybe wearing off a little bit. Some of the shine had come off with some of the projects they did, like Secret Invasion. And if Marvel can't help themselves, they definitely can't be the savior for Sony as well. Fundamentally, things need to change. So call it whatever you want. Call it the Sony Spider-Verse, Sony universe of Marvel characters, call it the MCU, call it whatever you like. If the movies aren't good, and if the characters aren't popular to begin with, that is a recipe for disaster. And hopefully Sony has learned the real lessons here.
Yeah, nobody gonna mess with it.
Hey, look, we'll join with the MCU and that'll solve all our problems.
Venom was a good movie, bro.
Spider-Man Does Manhattan, which actually sounds like an amazing film. And if they let me write it, we could turn that into a banger for sure. But you guys
let bro write in, let me star in.
Down below, how do you feel about any and all of this? And are you going to see Kraven? I actually was surprised how many of you are choosing to see it opening weekend.
Hey, man, shout out to everything always, bro. You know what I'm saying? I hope you don't mind me react to your videos. You know what I'm saying? You and Cosmic Wonder, y'all keep me hella updated. You know what I'm saying? And then I can put in my 2 cents. And maybe one of these days we could collab. You know what I'm saying? Do something crazy. I got theories. You feel me? And I'm still learning about Marvel and stuff too. So don't feel afraid to drop some knowledge about some stuff. Like, even if you think like, yeah, he already know that. I don't care, bro. I like the conversation, bro. Marvel is a good space. Marvel, Star Wars, those some good spaces with good people. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they should have been focused on making everything that Marvel made, movies and TV shows, into video games.